Many criminals have escaped from prison, but only a few have managed to avoid being apprehended, and the ones who stand out are among the most dangerous. Hello and welcome to xCellento. In today's video, we'll see how these criminals escaped from the prison and left no clue to be found. They pulled off the seemingly impossible feat of escaping from prison, with the majority of them never being caught again. Here's how they planned it. 11. An inmate escaped on a tractor, Curtis Ray Watson. Okay, so the inmate in this story eluded capture for a while, but only for a short time. Curtis Ray Watson, an inmate at West Tennessee State Penitentiary, was seen on work detail outside the home of Deborah Johnson, a longtime prison official, on the morning of August 7, 2019. Johnson was found strangled 3 hours later, and Watson, 44, had vanished, according to NBC News. Watson, who was serving a 15-year sentence for aggravated kidnapping, used a tractor to flee the prison grounds in Henning, Tennessee. A 4-day manhunt was launched after he vanished. An eagle-eyed local spotted the escaped inmate in his yard on home surveillance video after law enforcement released images of Watson's tattoos in case he changed his appearance. Watson was apprehended and arrested within hours. He's being investigated as a suspect in Johnson's death. 10. Frank and their 2 brothers managed to get out of Alcatraz. Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers, 3 inmates of the Alcatraz Maximum Security Federal Prison on an island in San Francisco Bay, pulled off one of the greatest prison's escapes in American history on June 11, 1962. They squeezed through air vents and made their way in the Pacific Ocean, where they boarded a raft made out of stolen raincoats. After months of planning, they were never seen or heard from again. Many people believe the men drowned in the icy waters because their raft and paddles washed up ashore. The Anglin family is adamant that the brothers lived and has presented evidence to back up their claim. The FBI is undecided about what to believe. 9. Victor Figueroa, the only escapee from a New York State prison who has never been arrested again. Victor Figueroa, a drug possession convict serving 1 to 4 years in prison, was supposed to be on his way to the mess hall on February 6, 1997, when he wandered off from the Moriah Shock incarceration facility in Mineville, New York. Authorities searched the area as soon as his absence was noticed, but the trail went cold. Figueroa is believed to have died as a result of the escape, most likely in a fall through a mine shaft near the facility. Figueroa was never seen or heard from again. That much is certain. He's also the only inmate in a New York State prison who has escaped and has never been found. 8. Glen Stark hidden away. Glen Stark Chambers, a convicted murderer who had been sentenced to death, had his sentence commuted to life in prison. But he wasn't going to stay. He cajoled other inmates to box him inside a crate and load the crate onto a truck on February 21, 1990, while making office furniture at Florida's Pulp Correctional Facility. Later, his clothes were discovered in the truck. Chambers, who has family in Minnesota and Florida, and has been seen in Florida and Alabama, is described as intelligent and resourceful. Chambers would be 69 years old now, if he is still alive, which he may be. 7. Even after Leonard's furlough is over, he was never found. Leonard Rayne Moses escaped from prison on June 1, 1971, after being granted a furlough to attend his grandmother's funeral in the Homewood neighborhood of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He was serving a life sentence for murder in connection with the 1968 Pittsburgh riots that followed Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination. Moses is still on the loose and is considered armed and dangerous. For information leading directly to Moses' arrest, the FBI is offering a reward of up to $10,000. If you think these prison escapee stories are crazy, see who the most notorious criminal in each state is. 6. Police gave up the search for Jerry. Jerry Bergevin escaped from Camp Waterloo, a Michigan prison camp, in 1969, where he was serving a 15-year sentence for breaking and entering. Authorities believe he scaled a barbed wire fence, but the Michigan Department of Corrections can't be certain because it happened so long ago. Bergevin would have been 80 years old at the time when the Department of Corrections decided to call off the search in 2013. He was never found. 5. Try again and again for Vassilis. Vassilis Paleokostas managed to flee by helicopter twice while serving a 25-year sentence for kidnapping and robbery in a Greek high-security prison, once in 2006 and once in 2009. He hasn't been seen since a 2009 escape in which he and a cellmate climbed up a rope ladder thrown to them from a helicopter flying over the prison yard, which had been hijacked by a woman. The cellmate was apprehended, but Paleokostas is still on the loose. It's easy to see someone fleeing in broad daylight, but check out these 15 unexplained disappearances. 4. International mystery man Omid. Omid Nino Tavili was the leader of a Persian organized crime ring in Canada. Tavili walked out of a maximum security prison in British Columbia, Canada, in 2007 wearing a janitor's uniform. He enlisted the help of a guard he bribed to look the other way. The guard was prosecuted after Tavili failed to pay him, but Tavili remains an international fugitive. In addition, Tavili is wanted in the United States in connection with a telemarketing scam that preyed on the elderly. Tavili, who is now nearly 40 years old, may have contacted the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in 2017 to negotiate his release in exchange for a promise not to extradite him to the U.S., but the authorities doubt the call was credible. 3. Joanne in Cuban asylum. Joanne Deborah Chesimard was serving a life sentence in a maximum security prison in Clinton, New Jersey, for murder and other crimes. She escaped on November 2, 1979, with the help of a revolutionary group of which she was a member. The FBI is still offering a $1 million reward for information leading to Chesimard's capture, despite the fact that she has changed her name to Asada Shakur. She has been residing in Cuba since 1984, when she was granted political asylum. 2. Catch and release George. George Edward Wright first escaped from a New Jersey prison on August 22, 1970. He was apprehended and returned to prison, only to flee again in 1972. Then he devised a strategy to avoid being reincarcerated. Wright and his accomplices hijacked a Delta plane on July 31, 1972. Wright and his crew flew the plane to Algiers after collecting the ransom and releasing the passengers. He was apprehended by the police in Portugal in 2011. Wright was released and remains at large because Portugal and the United States do not have an extradition treaty. Although Wright's case was eventually solved, there are still 15 unsolved crimes. 1. In the United States and Mexico, Glen Stewart is wanted. Glen Stewart Godwin escaped from California's Folsom State Prison in 1987. According to the FBI, he was serving a lengthy sentence for murder and is still on the agency's most wanted list. He was arrested for drug trafficking in Mexico later that year and sentenced to prison in Guadalajara. He allegedly murdered a fellow inmate in 1991 and escaped once more. He goes by the aliases Michael Carrera, Nigel Lopez, and Dennis Harold McWilliams, and is believed to be in Central or South America. For information leading to his arrest, the FBI is offering a $20,000 reward. So which story stunned you the most? Tell us in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notifications of our new videos. You can also watch our other videos suggested just for you. See you in the next video.